I never thought I would see the day where Sistar would actually disband. It's not just a sad day for Star 1 fans, also known as Sistar fans, but fans of K-pop itself. Now, 3 things always happen here in the summer in Korea. First, the weather is very hot and humid. Second, the ladies pretty much always dress up in short shorts or skirts. And finally, a new Sistar summer album drops. K-pop will truly miss Sistar, so let's reminisce about their 7-year career in the K-pop industry and bid them a final farewell. Now, Sistar is just the latest group that succumbed to the 7-year curse in the K-pop industry. Now, what's the 7-year curse? We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I'll just give you the brief definition. The 7-year curse is basically how a K-pop group will only last 7 years or less before they disband or break up. It's really a sad curse, but the reality is a lot of K-pop groups fall into that curse. It just happens. So for those of you guys that don't know, Sistar debuted in 2010 and it disbanded in 2017. Fulfilling that 7-year curse right on time. Now, Sistar also represents the 3rd generation of K-pop idols. And what I mean by 3rd generation is anywhere from the 2010s decade and on is the 3rd generation. Like your BTS's, your EXOs, your Twice's. 2nd generation, of course, is from 2000 to 2009. And 1st generation, I would consider 1999 and below, starting with Taeji. Now, Sistar's breakup became a reality to me when I saw their final song, Lonely, being performed on Inkigayo. And when they pretty much announced that Inkigayo, as well as a couple other music shows, would be their last hurrah, it just finally hit me that Sistar will be no more. Now this segment will be broken up into 2 parts. The first one being their overview of their 7-year K-pop journey, while the second one being, why did they actually break up? So let's begin. So the first thing about Sistar's career is that they're the summer queens of K-pop. Every year, as I mentioned earlier, a new Sistar CD drops in the summer without fail. I mean, having summer without Sistar is like having summer without the hot weather. It just doesn't work. In fact, ever since 2010 with their debut song Push Push, they've had a summer hit every year. I mean, that's what the group was known for. I mean, their fame, the claim, if you ask pretty much any Sistar fan or any K-pop fan, is summer. And you know, their songs are very catchy and danceable. It was just, every song you heard was just very upbeat. It really got you into the mood of summer and just made you want to dance with Sistar. Now, my personal favorites had to be the 2012 song, Loving You, as well as the 2014 song, I Swear. I definitely will miss their summer hits, and I know that I won't be the only one that will miss Sistar during the summers. And speaking of hits, number 2, Sistar had a top #1 hit on the weekly charts every year without fail. So going down the list, we have So Cool in 2011, Alone in 2012, Loving You in 2012, Give It To Me in 2013, Touch My Body in 2014, I Swear in 2014, Shake It in 2015, I Like That in 2016, and finally their last song, Lonely, in 2017. Now to have even one song reach #1 spot on the weekly charts is impressive, but Sistar had 2 songs that reached #1 spot in 2 years. And that would be 2012 with Alone and Loving You, as well as Touch My Body and I Swear in 2014. In fact, Sistar is 4th with the girl group with the most music wins, with 43, tying 21. Number 1 is Girls' Generation with an astounding 100, and number 2 below is Twice with 44. So Sistar is in definite good company to be mentioned in those names during their 7-year career. The next thing is Sistar 19, and this subgroup was really popular. In fact, they had 2 hit songs, Ma Boy in 2011 and Gone Not Around Longer in 2013. And I remember in 2011 when My Boy was first released, people were doing body rolls everywhere in Seoul. In fact, if you weren't doing body rolls or trying to learn how to do it, you weren't trying hard enough. But seriously, people were addicted to the song. I know I was. As you know, it's a really catchy tune. They dance around this chair a bit in the video. Man, can't say enough about that video. And it pretty much caught on and made Sistar a household name, like this Ma Boy song. Oh my god. Gone Not Around Longer was also an iconic song, so a lot of people were singing to it, and it represented the more balladish feel that Sistar can sing. Slow K-pop-ish to me. And since we're talking about Sistar, we can't forget their iconic dances. Whether it's the ooh-ah dance in Loving You, the high heel stepping dance in Alone, the sway shaking dance in I Swear, the button waggle dance in Touch My Body. Actually, I really don't know what to call this dance. And the aforementioned body roll dance in Ma Boy. Sistar definitely has the iconic dance going for it. The next thing we gotta talk about Sistar, their beautiful vocals and sexy looks. In fact, from what I heard, when Sistar was first being formed, they're supposed to be the sexy group that did have beautiful vocals. And I know what you're thinking, Isn't that what all K-pop groups aspire to be? Some of them go for the cute concept, others go with the girl next door concept, but Sistar was designed to be smoking hot and have awesome vocals to back it up. And they definitely do, especially Hyorin. And since they're the queens of K-pop, you definitely don't have to look far to notice their apparent beauty. Just look at any of their music videos. The next one is the Family Guy spoofs. Now, if you're a fan of Family Guy, you might have been surprised when you saw Sistar on one of their episodes. And the episode Candy, Quahog, and Marshmallow, Peter, Cleveland, and Joe go to South Korea to convince Quagmire to move back to the US. Now in that episode, Peter encounters a Sistar episode, and just watch for yourself what Peter thinks about it.
Korean pop videos.
What is this, and how can I make the rest of my life about it?
And you know what, Peter? I totally agree. I wish that our lives were just full of Sistar, non-stop. They also do a hilarious K-pop spoof on the Hyuna song, Bubble Pop. And I always believe that if a niche gets onto a teen adult cartoon show like Family Guy, Simpsons, or South Park, that your niche is becoming a lot more relevant in Western media. The next thing we got to talk about, the breakup was actually pretty clean. There was no major scandals, no major jealousy, no major breakup, no major he said, she said. I really felt that Sistar had the sisterhood, pun intended. And you have to credit the girls of Sistar, as well as Starship Entertainment, their label, for not having the group breakup be disastrous or just end on bad blood or bad terms. As you guys know from following K-pop, a lot of groups don't end as well. A lot of groups just actually have a lot of turmoil. But with Sistar, you had none of that. It was just really clean. Now we gotta talk about why Sistar disbanded and broke up. And the first reason is the 7-year curse. Now I mentioned this earlier, the 7-year curse is basically groups don't last longer than 7 years. So why the number 7? Most rookie groups get 7 years under contract. And after 7 years, they can continue to go on as a group or just separate and do their own thing. And a 7-year contract also represents the next major move for a lot of K-pop stars. Do you want to continue singing? Or do you want to get into acting, TV, and advertisements, or modeling? There's a lot of things that you can do after your 7-year contract, which leads to the next point. The group decided to disband unanimously at first. When it was first reported that Sistar wanted to break up, it was pretty much a unanimous decision. That's what everyone thought. Hyorin and Soyou would continue music as solo singers, while Dasom and Bora would get into acting in TV and movies. The official press statement was that it would be a clean break and everyone would forge their new path. But a more recent update says that it was Hyorin that wanted out first. And finally, we reached the main point why Sistar broke up. And you can't really blame Hyorin for this. Hyorin had the potential of becoming an awesome solo singer, as evident from her recent South American tours, which did incredibly well. And from there, Hyorin had to be thinking, maybe I can do the solo career alone. And I know a lot of K-pop fans and music industry people know that Hyorin's potential as a solo singer is very high. The other members and staff, it was later reported, wanted to keep the group going past 2017, but Hyorin had second thoughts. And Hyorin basically said this: look, we have our 7-year contract, it's about to end, we're in our mid-20s, what do you guys really want to do? Really want to be a solo singer? And I want to do my own thing. I want to have more creative freedom. I want to be able to tour on my own and not ask the rest of the Sistar members and not be tied down. And I also felt that Hyorin didn't want to be stereotyped into Sistar forever for her prime of her career. She wanted to be a solo singer. She wanted to branch out and make a name for her own, not just Hyorin of Sistar. She just wanted to be Hyorin. And Sistar has this rule where if one person drops out of the group, they all disband. There's none of this group substitution thing where you have a group, but the members shuffle in and out, and eventually you don't even recognize the original members, or all the original members have left, and that group is only a group in name. With Sistar, it was definitely going to be the original members or none. And again, I don't blame Hyorin at all for this. Everyone has to make the right decision for themselves. She's in her mid-20s now, and she wants to be a solo singer. You can't hate her for that. And she was straight up honest with her co-singers, as well as Starship Entertainment. Bravo for Hyorin, and bravo for the rest of the members for pretty much accepting her decision and cheering her on. In fact, that's what Hyorin said. They said, we got to keep the Sistar sisterhood intact and just cheer each other on, even though we're not a group anymore. And my final words to Sistar's breakup and final farewell: you never know. Maybe they'll get back together, much like how Chekskis or SES did in recent years. But again, that might be down the line, or that might not be. We can only hope. So for now, they'll be going their separate ways. And with that, Sistar's time has come to an end. So what do you guys think about this video? Are you a Star 1 fan or Sistar fan? Or are you just a fan of them in general? I'd love to know your comments in the comments below. And what is your favorite Sistar song? Again, comments in the comments below. And lastly, if you guys want our upcoming book on K-pop journalism and what it's like working here as a journalist, please sign up for our free email list below. And with that being said, I'm off to watch some more K-pop videos, but I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.